Hi, this is Shirley Solis with ShirleySolis.com and welcome to day 17 of the Live Life with Flavor Challenge. Today is Timely Parenting Tuesday. Do you ever experience moments in your parenting where the children are constantly bickering, they're fighting, they just don't seem to get along, and they walk around like they're just all grumpy? Well, I know that it's very easy for that to infect us and for us to become grumpy and for us to become upset over what's going on and the arguments and the conflicts that are going on in the home. Well, I want to challenge you today because I know that I learned many years ago that I was the one that sort of set the atmosphere in the home. Like, I really do have that much power. I have power for good and I have power for bad. And when I realized that I actually set the atmosphere of my home, it encouraged me to look around and see my children. And I realized that if they were arguing, if they were grumpy, I had to stop and look at me. Was I experiencing grumpiness? Was I being moody with the circumstances and the situations in my life? Was that making me so upset and so angry that it transferred to them? So it doesn't matter who started it. It doesn't matter if your children were the ones that were grumpy first and they were frustrated and they were bickering and then it made you upset and then you were just like frustrated about that situation, and then it's just like this endless cycle. Or maybe you had a bad day, you brought it home, you didn't even notice because you were processing the whole thing, and then you gave that to your children without noticing, and the next thing you know they were angry and grumpy and you blamed them. So whoever started it, it doesn't matter. The point is that you have that much power to set the atmosphere and the tone in your home. So if that's true, which I know that in my life it has been true, then the way that I set the atmosphere is by absolutely making sure that I smile as much as I can, that I'm as joyful as I can, that I am as happy as I can. And I know that people see me and they think that that was so easy to do. But you know what? The very first thing that we must do when we're trying to change, when we're trying to really live with joy, is you first set the intention that you want to live that way. So go ahead and set the intention with me that you want to be a woman who delivers joy and that delivers smiles everywhere she goes. Because I tell you what, about 7 years ago, yep, 7 years ago, I started doing a workshop called Preparing Sons for Life, the Mom's Part. And I remember back then setting the intention that I wanted to be like George Washington's mother. And, oh, actually it was Susanna Wesley. And I remember thinking that her intention was to be very joyful, and I thought, I want to be that kind of a woman. And I know how even through a year of doing that workshop, I still kept talking about being a joyful woman, and I knew that I wasn't that joyful woman yet. But you know what? Everything just aligned, and it took me a while. It wasn't like a month later, but it was probably several years later when I cleaned out a lot of things in my life where I learned to live differently, that I was able to begin to live with joy daily. So if nothing else, in this particular video, you're finding that you're not being that woman that brings a lot of joy forth and that it's showing to your children and they're grumpy because you're grumpy, set the intention that you want to live with joy. Set the intention that you want to be that kind of a mom that radiates life, that radiates laughter, that radiates dance, that radiates joy and peace and harmony in your home. And when you set the intention, I am sure that you'll begin to move forward to do that. But be aware of that so that when your children are not completely happy and they're not where you want them to be, recognize that it was you who needed to set the pace and do what you need to do to begin to move forward in that. And I know that because of it, you'll end up with a great relationship with your kids, because you won't be blaming them or judging them, because you're looking at yourself now, recognizing that you are your own agent of change. So think about this right now and let me know what you are going to do to begin the process of becoming a more joyful mom at home. All right? So I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow on Wild Marriage Wednesday. This is Shirley Solis with ShirleySolis.com. Take care and goodbye.